Falamos de educação, agora vamos falar de como contratar trabalhadores nesta época de tanta transformação. Como é que se contrata o melhor trabalhador na época mais tecnológica da inteligência artificial? É aquele que tem o melhor CV? É aquele que domina melhor as técnicas digitais? É aquele que tem um comportamento diferente na vida? São essas questões que vão ser agora aqui referidas por alguém que estuda isso mesmo. Qual é o futuro dos trabalhadores e do trabalho? Ela está em Israel, por razões óbvias e conhecemos com dificuldade em viajar, mas vai estar aqui presente neste congresso da APDC. Vamos escutar com muita atenção a Maya Huber.
Hello everyone and good evening. Thank you all for joining this session. I'm sorry I'm joining you for remote and hope I will be there in person for the next time. Before we start, I'm going to thank personally to the key talent team who are joining me in this session, who invited me, and the APDC conference for making this happen. This conference is a major opportunity for business and technology and science to speak together. And for me, this is the best platform to also share my ideas. So thank you. Thank you for the opportunity to be here today. My name is Maya Huber. I'm the CEO and co-founder of Tatio. I'm an expert in HR and career development. I spent 16 years in recruiting, mainly in the staffing space. I also hold a PhD. My expertise is the future of work and job analysis. And I will take these 10 minutes to speak briefly about the most known trend right now in HR and try to be very specific and practical about it, with some conversation about AI, skill-based hiring, and candidate experience that have changed through the last decade, but mainly in the last year and 6 months, and think about practical ways to solve them tomorrow when you're arriving to work. So one of the major things one of the major challenges that we face right now is a significant drop when it comes to conversion rate. This is an example for retail, but it goes across industries, mostly in the volume hiring space, where there's use of automation, more use in automation in hiring. So what you can see here is the rates of click to hire rates in retail, but again, it reflects the market. We can see here, before COVID, it was around 20% of conversion rate from an ad, click on an ad, to an hire. Here, we see a significant drop after COVID. As we all know, it was a challenging time in the market, very challenging time to find employees. But since then, we see a dramatic drop until 0.03% of conversion rate in our pipeline. It means that we see a decrease of 67% in conversion rate when it comes to qualified hires we find from a pool of talent. So instead of finding 10 people out of 10, we will find 3 people out of 100. That means a major loss in budget. It creates ineffectiveness in the teams, but also a feeling of an hamster in a wheel. We cannot never meet our target. But overall, it reflects the instability, the sense of insecurity when it comes to the feeling of recruiters, enabling them to fulfill their goals and missions, which is filling those racks in time. As I said, it reflects on business dramatically. One of the things that we see here across the market, that if we're looking at an average company, around 5,000 employees, their annual loss of unqualified hires and ineffective recruiting processes can result in almost $2 million annually, which is a reflection of replacement and rehire and money that's being spent on marketing on the wrong candidate. So what is it that we see? We see a lot of spam. And spam comes from many reasons. One, from automation. It's so easy to apply right now. With a click on a button, if I'm a candidate, I can apply everywhere. I can search for shoes and the job ad will hunt me. I do not need to fill the details sometimes. I just need to send apply, and then I've been directed everywhere to many more job opportunities out there in those job boards due to automation. Also, since the processes are easy and the job market is changing, I can apply for several positions at the same time in several industries and just spread my resumes and application forms all over with the hope for someone to get back to me. From the recruiter side, there's automation going through this data. Some of those data sources are not relevant and not qualified, so there's a consistent feeling of spamming each other. Candidates spam recruiters and recruiters spam candidates. I do want to mention some conversation we have recently about fraud. I'm not speaking about intentional fraud, rather their ability to create a better resume using AI, to fill a form using AI, to answer a questionnaire using AI. And this was something that most of us thought that will be only relevant for tech people using AI. Now we see that using the chat to identify resumes, look at those numbers, 40 to 60% of fraud when it comes to AI-generated fake resumes and reports. And there's some data about fake positions that are out there as well, just to create traction around those job boards. So eventually, there's a deep feeling of spam and mistrust from both sides. And that reflects in the candidate engagement, where this number was just published. 90% of candidates do not complete job applications. If you think of it for a second, you're not because you have candidates this video short, identified little or no text, and then once they saw this cool ad or video on TikTok, this is the next step. So they fill a job application, and there's another form and job description, and then emails, and those emails are automated, created by AI, personalized, but everything just look the same. Even chatbot skills analysis, text is dominating the market everywhere. And since AI is based mostly on text, text is becoming obsolete and is not sufficient anymore when it comes to proper engagement and recruiting decisions. I do want to speak for a moment about skill-based hiring and the need to implement skill-based hiring and why it became so dominant recently. So in a way, a force of nature with a combination of skill gap, a need to have a better decision-making when it comes to hire. But skill-based hiring enable more opportunities. It can bridge the gap of skills. You can match candidates better. You can fill those roles faster because you qualify them based on the skills, getting more accurate with the decision-making you make. You can reduce by that hiring cost and turnover and have a better prediction of your workforce and teammate to succeed together. One of the things that we are trying to do in Tatio is to rise above the noise and to go beyond create an opportunity that is a combination of skill-based hiring, new tool to empower recruiting team with a performance-based technology using virtual job simulations. And 3 last minutes that I have to share quickly about what it is. Our virtual job simulations are an immersive, short, gamified experiences of jobs. We enable candidates to experience in a desktop or a mobile environment the main core task, short, easy to use gamified experience where they can speak to clients, provide answers to questions, filling some clients' demands, or create to fill a pipeline of boxes, to do whatever the job requires that particular way. Everything from retail, manufacturing, supply chain, healthcare, early graduates, hospitality, anything of those spaces where there's core skills that are relevant for the job. This is where Tatio comes in, enable companies to hire based on skills, but in an engaging way that meets today's market. Simulation. This is an example they're doing. So we empower the the use of AI to analyze in the back everything the candidate is saying, clicking, typing, his process, his speed, his accuracy. All the data is being gathered together into one high-level report that enables you to make better decisions about your workforce. A single solution that is highly customized to your business, to your needs, from the way it builds and the content to the analysis we do. And that reflects the result. We see across the board that a creation of enable it of AI with a virtual job simulation in an engaging environment, it brings more talent, create better retention, and brings better recurring results overall. So if I'm closing this sentence, I just want to say that for me, skill-based hiring AI is an opportunity to create a new way of interacting in the workforce. We need to move forward to a more performance-based oriented workforce, not just relying on subjective answers, but also to measure the ability of candidates to get the job done. And I think by doing that, we can narrow the gap of uncertainty for both sides and create a more create a better retention, better teams, and a more scalable workforce. Thank you all for joining. If you want to learn more about Tatio, you can reach out to our website, tatio.io. Thank you, Miguel, on stage for answering the questions, and I look forward to continue the conversation with you in the future. Bye-bye.
Uber, desde Israel, que quis, não conseguiu vir, mas de qualquer maneira
temos aqui o seu importante
Israel, agora aqui ao meu lado está o Miguel Luís, da ICT and New Media. Miguel, bem-vindo.
Now we have Miguel here with us. Is this the future of work and employment? Are we far away from this in Portugal, or is it a utopia? Well, let me say that the world of hiring has been stable for quite some time, and the way most companies hire today is very similar to what was happened in the 20s, in the beginning of the 20s. But if things work, then it's okay. But one of the most important barriers to this is the fact that the model still works out. But what has led this transformation to be real was the introduction of technology, AI, and Maya did not refer to this, but the whole technology behind the real simulation of work is an algorithm that assesses several points of things that the person is performing. For instance, facial expressions, the tone of her voice, and so we have an algorithm analyzing this. Now, as for our reality in Portugal, we should see that there are several layers and not only the real-time situations we have seen with Tatio. What's most important is that companies should give the first step ahead. They should determine what are the necessary skills they need. So we don't have a rule. When you have a job applicant before you, what is it that you look for? The CV. Now there is a new way of drafting a CV. Well, let me tell you the following. Imagine you have two candidates for a specific job, and they are very good. How, at this point in time, a decision is taken without using this type of technology? Normally, the human factor will then be decisive. And what we now know as a given fact is that we all have bias. And the only way for us to decrease or remove the bias is using more expensive methodologies such as assessment centers. But in this particular case, the purpose explains the rationale behind the CV, because most of it is centered around text. And today we have the person giving evidence of what she knows what to do. So the transfer for the skills-based talents is really evidence of what you can do. Why is this so impactful, both at the negative and the positive side? Because our society is still very much shaped around companies who value someone, a student coming from this or that university. You see, there is also in the US, they have the same trend. Now, what we are going to do is that the university you come from is irrelevant. What's important is whether you know or don't know what you are going to do. And this is a revolution, because in order for you to develop this correctly, and actually Maya did not say what are the projects of our organization, and the idea will be to have a job ad and automatically through AI be able to create a real simulation of job. Job ads are not yet mapped for skills, and this means that when you read an ad, you don't know what skills are inherent to that ad, and even the description of the ad seems to be a list, shopping list. But you know, most companies are performing quite a good work, and we have a lot of youth talent programs, because when you work with the youth, we now have companies who will map the skills for the trainee profile, and the major goal will have all the applicants being submitted to this assessment, such as the psychometric. So thank you very much.
E agora vamos para o encerramento do primeiro dia deste congresso.
And now on to the closing address.